I'll walk all the way upstairs and then forget, why did I come upstairs? Only to go all the way back downstairs to still not remember why I went back downstairs. Is this relatable to you? You enter a room and you can't remember why you were in the room in the first place? Or you're looking for telling a story and there's that one word that just escapes you no matter how hard you think about it. You're like, what is that one word? It's not a hard word. It's a very simple word, but it's just not in your brain. It just escapes your awareness. This is just normal for midlife. This happens in midlife. But what isn't normal is a super short attention span, not being able to focus on anything for a long period of time. Yesterday, I was doing some work and I realized I can't even complete a thought. In the middle of a sentence, another thought will come in and take over that sentence, and I'll start talking about that sentence in my brain, and I won't even be able to complete a single sentence with a conversation that I'm having in my head. This is craziness. What the hell is happening? In midlife, our brains change. Of course, our brains change. They're designed to do that. Our energy and attention go other places, and we become absent-minded, a little bit forgetful. That is totally normal. Let me tell you about something that isn't normal. The fact that our brains are being hijacked. This is not normal, my friends. I'm going to tell you a story about TikTok. Did you know that TikTok is a Chinese-owned company? And in China, TikTok is used as well. But the way it's used in China is for educational purposes. It's limited about how long you can be on the app for, and it's limited about what you can see on the app. And the only thing that you can see on TikTok in China are educational videos. That's all you can see. And it's a limited amount of time that you can use it every single day. So it's an educational tool. But in North America, and I don't know about the rest of the world, but in North America, it is a way to deliver the most mind-numbing, stupid, attention-getting, hyperactivity creating, ADD encouraging crap that you've ever possibly seen. And so I don't go on TikTok because it's just too fast moving for me. It's full of stupid stuff. It's just a time suck. It is a complete time suck. But I do Instagram and I do Facebook. And Facebook isn't as bad because it's old school. But Instagram is so fast paced. When I first started to learn it for my business, I had to ask my boys over and over and over again, like, I don't get it. How does this work? Why is it happening so fast? And when I first started, my attention was in overwhelm because I couldn't understand stuff because it was happening so fast at such a fast pace. And for example, when my kids were telling me how to edit my videos, my older son would be like, it's too long. It has to be faster. It has to be faster. It's too slow. It's too boring. Cut faster. And this is exactly the philosophy of TikTok, is just to grab your attention and suck you in so that you watch stupid mind-numbing stuff to turn you into a freaking social media zombie. So when we had midlife on top of that, like, our brains are changing and they're focusing on other things. So we are forgetful. But then when you add this on top of it, I'm finding there is no way I could even read a book because I can't even comprehend one sentence, because once I read it, my mind has gone somewhere else and I have to read it over and over and over again. Yesterday is a perfect example of that. I just couldn't focus. It felt like I had drank a whole pot of coffee, and I don't even drink coffee. So my attention is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. But the good thing is, that I know how it was created over time, watching these social media videos getting shorter and faster and faster. And so over time, I became adapted to them. I could understand them because it changed the way I think and see things. So when I talk about midlife and our brains and social media and TikTok, I don't want to alarm you, but I'm here to tell you that your brain has been hijacked, not just from TikTok, but from every single social media platform is designed to make our attention span super duper short. So how has our brain been hijacked? Well, it's our dopamine. Every time we watch a social media video or we get a like or we get a notification or a suggested for you, it's tapping that dopamine. Dopamine is known as the feel-good hormone in our brain. It gives you the sense of pleasure. Also, it gives you the motivation to do something when you're feeling that pleasure. And the interesting thing about dopamine is most people think that it's the doing of the food, like that can happen when we eat chocolate, when we gamble, when we have sex, when we do drugs, these types of things. But it's not the actual doing of the activity that causes the dopamine rush. It is the thought, it's the anticipation of doing it that releases the dopamine. It's the anticipation of doing it, not the actual doing of it. And this is what is being tapped on. This is what is making us want to watch more of it and scroll more videos. It's hitting our dopamine center. And it's starting to create, for me, I think I have become neurodivergent because of social media. I've become ADD, like attention deficit disorder. Basically having the inability to focus. So let's see, what's the definition? It's a term used, ADD is a term used for people who have excessive difficulties with concentration without the presence of other ADHD symptoms such as excessive impulsiveness or hyperactivity. That's me. I'm like, I can't even focus on getting a sentence out of my brain before I'm distracted by something shiny somewhere else. And I can see myself doing that. I work at home and I'm like, focus on doing your work. And then all of a sudden, if I pick up my phone to look for something, the weather or a note I made, and then boom, I'm scrolling. It's crazy how fast it happens. But our attention is the most sought after currency right now in the whole world. So all of these companies that are vying for our attention are paying big bucks for our attention. Our attention is for sale. Our brains have been hijacked. If you have never watched the movie Social Dilemma on Netflix, you need to watch it because they explain it so well. And it's a documentary that actually interviews the people who created these apps and who created these programs. So you want to hear what they have to say because they're like, yeah, I won't use these platforms because they're highly addictive. They're made to be highly addictive, just like sugar in our food, sugar and fats and salts, like highly addictive. These people don't make these platforms to make you smarter, to make you healthier, to make your life better. They do it so that they can grab your attention and then monetize your attention. So please do yourself a favor and watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix. It is a banger. You are going to just be like, what? I can't believe that this is being done to me. Because it's like, it is not, it's so hard to say that like something is being done to you, but it is. You're being manipulated. We're being manipulated. And when you understand that and realize you can control it, then it can be a game changer. But when we don't have awareness, we can't change anything. So we always have to have awareness. That's the key. So watch that movie and let me know what you think. I think that people wake up one day and realize they're in midlife. And then all of a sudden, their health becomes their primary concern. I see this over and over again. Like I've always been a health conscious person. This has always been like an obsession of mine, is how you can heal your body through thoughts and food. But I'm seeing my generation go from, being concerned about how they look and how their body is to all of a sudden being concerned about my health. How can I make sure that I can move around? How can I make sure that I can stay away from disease and be healthy so I can keep doing my everyday things, right? Now we're talking about functional health. Like, how can I function in the world and be healthy? So how can I just do everyday stuff? And that just kind of happens one day when we realize, oh my gosh, I'm in midlife, and our body starts to change. So it's giving us cues, like things become harder that were never difficult to do before. And we notice that our body physically changes, and our memory changes, our mind changes. But the physical one is more one that really captures our attention. So I'm here to say, we got to be proactive. Your body is going to change. It's designed to change. Today's society makes it even harder to keep the brain focused because we're not just talking about natural aging processes. We're talking about people hijacking your dopamine and changing your attention span. So for me personally, I can't take it anymore, me not being able to focus on something for more than 30 seconds. It's driving me crazy. And I've noticed it happening. Like I didn't notice it was happening until it happened. Like I was over here being my normal self, focusing all the time. And then slowly over time, my attention span dwindled down. And now all of a sudden I'm like, I don't have an attention span anymore. So I'm going to get it back. How do I get it back? The same way that I lost it. It didn't just happen overnight. It was slowly conditioning. So I'm going to condition it to go back to an extended attention span. I'm going to increase my attention span. But today's society does make it even harder to keep the brain focused because everything is designed to grab your attention and to hit those dopamine receptors over and over and over again. So in order to do everything that you can to prevent it from happening or to reverse it, I got 2 things that you can do. Here's the top 2 things that you can do. Number 1, if you know me, you probably guessed it already, is eat whole clean foods. 100%, because all the chemicals that are put on food to make them last longer, to make them taste better, to help them grow, that all affects our brain and our body for sure, 100%. So if you can eat whole clean foods, that's going to help you stay out of that brain fog. Because as we get older, we do kind of get into a brain fog. Our brain doesn't function as quickly as it used to. So eating whole clean foods helps not only our brain to function at its best, but also our body. There's no downside to eating whole clean foods, not a one. So that is at the top of my list. That's the answer for any question that you have about midlife and health. Eat whole clean foods. That's where we start. And then I'm going to invite you to do a dopamine detox. That's right, a dopamine detox. So what does that mean? It means we're going to get rid of all the stuff that is causing us to not be able to focus. So it's all the stuff that's distracting us from focusing. It's all the stuff that's stealing our attention. And the number one way that you can do this is by putting your phone down. I think that what you're going to find when you do this is if you put your phone down and go, I'm not going to look at my phone until, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever that is, you're going to naturally be grabbing for it or looking for it. If it's not, like, if you're like me, it's like, if it's not in my hand, I'm like, where is it? Like, I've misplaced it. I have to know where it is. If I don't know where my phone is at all times, then I kind of get this little sense of panic. Like, I've misplaced it. Where is it? So let's see what happens when you literally turn your phone off, turn the volume down so you're not getting any messages from anybody, any notifications, which is like an attention grabber. Notification, specifically designed to get you back into that phone. Put it down, put it away, and forget about it. Just forget about it. And let's see how addicted you are. Let's see what the reaction is like. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Or a habit of like wanting to look at it, even though there hasn't been a notification and you don't need to use your phone. There's a habit, if there's any downtime, of literally looking at your phone. Literally, if you go out for coffee or dinner or anything like that, just look at people. Whenever I go out, I'll just put my phone down and away, and I'll just be in the moment of being with other people and being in that moment and noticing how many people or families are out there not even interacting with each other, but obsessed facing the phone, just looking at their phone, doing all their stuff. But what if you were just being in that moment and watching, enjoying your coffee or your lunch or whatever it is? So no phone. And then the next thing is no social media. So if you're on your computer, working on your computer, you don't want to be scrolling. No scrolling. That's the thing. That's what goes with no social media, is no scrolling at all for any reason. No news. News is also fear-mongering and addictive. So we just want to not watch news at all. And then we're going to get rid of caffeine, because that definitely distracts us and makes it easy to have attention deficit disorder. Or limit your caffeine, 1 cup a day, but really, really monitor it. And no sugar. Sugar also causes attention deficit, because sugar is totally a toxin in your system. So let's try a dopamine detox. You're going to take away all of these things, all of these distractions, all of these attention grabbers, all of these dopamine hijacking activities that are highly addictive. So let's see how hard it is for you to stop doing all of these, because they're all addictions, all of them. And other things that you can do are slow down and be in the moment. Like just notice. Just notice what's going on around you. Read books. Take the time to sit down and read a physical book. I just love books. I love touching them. I love turning pages. I love putting the bookmark in and seeing how much I have left in the book. I just love the physical book. So actually get a book. I get books out of the library all the time. Try meditating. Meditating is stopping and focusing on this moment. When we focus on our breath, you can only be in the moment. And that will stop the ADD brain going all over the place. And anytime you see you're focusing on your breath, you're meditating, and you notice your brain go off, that's okay. Don't stop it. Just notice it and just bring yourself back to your breath. Grounding is one of my favorite things to do. I have a grounding mat at my desk, so anytime I'm working, I'm grounded. I try to, as much as possible, walk around in my bare feet, especially outside, on the grass, on the cement, doesn't matter, just totally be connected to the earth energy. Once we have our rubber shoes on, we get disconnected from the earth's energy, and we're designed to be connected to that energy. So grounding as much as possible. I like to learn new things. So every time you're learning something new, you're creating a new neural pathway in the brain. It is so crazy. They say that, the brain is the only organ or part of the body that doesn't regenerate itself, but you can always be creating new neural pathways by learning new things. So when I'm learning Spanish, I'm creating a new neural pathway. And then the more I do that, the stronger the neural pathway gets and the easier it gets. So I am really exercising my brain when I'm learning new activities. My mom, who's 83, I just love her so much. Every day she does her Sudoku and like all of the word and the math puzzles just to exercise her brain, because she knows that she wants to stay at the top of her brain game. As to her, using her brain and thinking is like the number one important top of her list things to do as she ages. And she's still like sharp as a tack, but every day she consciously does that. But she also goes swimming every other day too. So she's working on her physical body as well. So learning new things and creating new neural pathways in the brain is like having a superpower. And of course, eating whole, clean foods. You're going to have way less brain fog and be able to focus easier when you eat whole, clean foods, because all of these chemicals are messing with our brain as well. And then this one here, being more social is such a good way to stay connected when you go out and have conversations with people and connect with people. I think that community is huge. It's a lost art form in today's society because of social media and the ability to just text people. But I feel like if you can build community and really get together with people in person, that's so huge for being able to really be in the moment and focus your brain. And this last one I've now become obsessed with. And I never got it before. And all of a sudden, I'm just like so obsessed. Yesterday, I went and bought 5 more plants because I found this piece of dirt in my backyard. I'm like, I could plant and make a garden there too, just a small piece of dirt. So I'm obsessed with gardening. Gardening is so wonderful because you're in the moment. You're connected to nature. Like I will garden in my bare feet, and I'll never use gloves because I love having my hands in the dirt. And I cannot stop but be so in awe of flowers. Like they are just so amazing because nature is where it's at. It's all about nature. And flowers are just the epitome of, like how amazing sacred geometry and the Fibonacci and just like how what the universe is like in one little flower, you can see it, or a fruit. Like they are just so fascinating. So gardening is another way to really slow down and be connected to Pachamama, to the earth, and really take back your brain. Really say, no, enough is enough. And I'm going to connect back into my brain, and I'm going to do it by connecting to nature in any way. Connecting to nature in any way is absolutely amazing. It's an amazing way to take back your attention. So try it for 30 days and see what happens. Do the dopamine detox for 30 days and see what happens. I'm doing it for the month of June. Do it with me. You can jump in anytime you listen to this podcast. Jump in and do 30 days. I'm going to do a dopamine detox. And let's unhijack our brains and take back our time and attention and create a reality that serves us. Like, let's put all of this attention into having the best midlife we could ever possibly have. Because your future is in your hands. Your attention, your dopamine is in your hands. So what's your next step look like? Thank you for listening. Always, always, always love yourself first, and have an amazing day.